Hello all and welcome to our weekly series here at fantasyfootballhub.co.uk where we bring the best transfers in for the coming game week with FPL legend Abdul Rahman aka FPL Salah. I'm standing in for James this week. Abdul, it's great to see you again. How was your game week 15?
Gaming 15 was okay actually. I got 55 points. It was I think it was overall quite a low scoring game week.
Yeah.
So it was a good score for me. It went from like 20k to 21k to 15k. So a nice little small green arrow.
Oh, nice. I had a decent one as well. I say only, I scored 57. And when I was looking at the players, who scored well, didn't score well. In previous weeks, I would have thought I'd been on for maybe, holding rank or a small red, but for some reason I had Son this week, which obviously was a really nice win over Kane. If Kane had scored a couple of points, it probably would have made much difference. But yeah, really good. And I had Foden, who I know we want to have a chat about. I've held him for 5 game weeks or 6 game weeks. He's finally delivered. I delivered something, but if you haven't subscribed to us yet, please press the subscribe button at the bottom right hand corner of the screen and set the alerts so you don't miss any of our Fantasy Premier League content or live streams right here on this channel. Also, please press the like button if you enjoy our content. So let's get into it, Abdul. And who's the first person on your list to bring in ahead of Game Week 16?
So I've gone for Davies here from Spurs. So the reason being was obviously we all know that he got 2 assists last game week, which was probably a surprise to everyone. But I mean, if you've seen his like kind of his heat map and his positioning over the last few game weeks, he is playing very attacking. He seems to be on the side where Reguilon plays. I mean, Reguilon is playing kind of wide, going down, hugging the touchline, whereas Davies I noticed was coming kind of in central, and that's where he got the assist for Son as well. He drove forward centrally, past it to Son. He was quite high up, and you can see that in his attacking stats as well. He's got the highest XG from the Spurs defenders, and he's only 4.4 million, and he's got great fixtures coming up. He's got a good set of fixtures. I mean, he could be, a good player to, we've all got Livramento. I think a lot of us got Livramento. So, he could be the next one to move on to for the dirt cheap budget defenders.
I've noticed that Rudiger kind of makes the same sort of runs, doesn't he? Very, very kind of aggressive, central on that left-hand side. Yeah, it is worth mentioning, Abdul. There's been a few rumours on social media the last day or so about Spurs. You just want to run us through those and what they might mean.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been kind of reported quite widely now that there's been a COVID outbreak in the Spurs camp, and although that is official, it's not official on what players have been affected. But the rumours are, Davies is one of them, and Son is one of them, and there's a few other ones like Gill, but Son and Davies are the main ones. So that is something to watch out for. It's probably obviously if you are looking to bring in any of those players, then definitely wait until as close to deadline as possible. We've got a Friday night deadline this week, so yeah, just keep an eye on that.
Yeah, with Son, he had a false positive a few weeks ago,
didn't he?
And people took him out, so it is worth monitoring because that fixture against Brighton have got about 8 players out there. Their whole defence is out, isn't it? As well as
that's right.
Trossard, a couple of others. So if Spurs players are fit and it goes ahead, it could be a very, very good fixture for Spurs indeed. Okay, who is next, Abdul, on your list of transfers in?
So I've got Phil Foden here, but really it could be any 3 of the City midfielders. Foden, Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. Yeah. It really just depends on budget. But I think if budget isn't an issue, then Phil Foden is by far the best option. He's got the best stats. He does sometimes play. I mean, Pep's used him in a false 9 role. He's also used him as a left winger, and playing in both those positions, he's actually returned. He's got attacking returns. Playing in both those positions, so it's not like playing in one position kind of hinders his FPL returns. And I think that's also an advantage with him playing in different positions because Pep. I mean, that kind of bodes well for his chances of starting going forward, if he can play in 2 different positions. So I think although I don't think any of the City midfielders are nailed, I think he is, probably the most nailed out of him and Gundogan. And then you've got Bernardo Silva, who's probably, guaranteed more minutes than Foden. But his stats are nowhere near as good. I know he's been returning really well,
Yeah.
but Foden, if you look at his, his XG and XA overall, I think he is the one to go for if budget isn't an issue.
And can I just ask you, out of my own sort of own interest, what do you think about Raheem Sterling as a he's played the last few. His stats are actually better than all these players in the last 4 games. Do you think he could actually be an option, or do you think he's just hit a bit of a little bit of form and then he'll go again? He is obviously a lot more expensive than these players.
He is, yeah. As you said, I think the issue is his price, and also the fact that I know Pep's been starting the last few, but I don't know. I still don't think he's really secure in that position.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you're if you're flash for cash and you want to take a risk, I mean, I wouldn't discourage anybody, but for me personally, I think he's at this stage is still a bit too risky. I think he can be dropped at any minute from Pep. Whereas the 3 that I mentioned, Gundogan, Foden, and Silva, they probably will play if they're fit. The majority of these games over the Christmas period.
What do you think about a double up? And again, I'm only asking because it's something I'm looking at. So I've already got Foden in my team, but if Son is confirmed out, it gives me a lot of budget and flexibility over the next few game weeks. Do you think a double up is viable?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that myself, Fergie. I'm not looking at a double up, so I definitely think it's viable. I think if you're looking at a double up, I think Foden is my first choice, and then I think honestly, out of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, it's really quite close. I think Gundogan has got the better stats, but Bernardo Silva is guaranteed the more game time. I think when KDB comes back, I think Gundogan's more at risk of getting rested than Bernardo Silva is. So yeah, I think Foden and take your pick out of Silva and Gundogan. I think it's a great idea. If you look at their fixtures coming up, very good. They've got a great run. We know what their attack is like as well. They're the second best attacking team in the league after Liverpool.
Superb, thank you. And who is your final pick ahead of Game Week 16, Abdul?
Yeah, so I've gone for Josh King as my pick for the forwards. I think a lot of people will be bringing him in this week, and I've probably already bought him in last week. I think because obviously a lot of disgruntled Kane owners will probably be bringing him in if they're looking to upgrade in midfield. I think obviously with Tony, most likely being out for the next 2 matches due to him catching COVID. I think King is a really good replacement for him. I mean, if you look at his XG, he's got a 5.28 XG, which is the 5th highest amongst forwards.
Wow.
And he's only 5.7 million. And he's on penalties as well. And his expected assist is 3.09, which also is 5th highest amongst forwards. So I mean, you're talking about all the forwards here, and you're looking at his price, and the fact he's on penalties, and he's got actually really good fixtures coming up. And Watford, Watford aren't bad going forward. They've scored, I think, 21 goals now, which is really surprising for a promoted team. So I think King, is a great value option going forward.
And the next 8 fixtures, just having a look, are very good. Brentford, Burnley, Palace, Wolves, and then West Ham, Spurs at home, then Newcastle away, then Norwich at home. So the next 8 games, very, very nice. 4 of those last 6 are all at home as well.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you about a comparison with Dennis, because I'm kind of battling with myself a little bit. I think Dennis is a little bit cheaper. He's obviously got he's had the better output, but looking at the stats, as you say, King looks a bit better. Are you tempted with Dennis at all, or is it King all the way for you?
For me, when I looked at the stats, I realised that Dennis is overperforming massively, and I think they're probably the same price now, or Dennis is like 0.1 million cheaper. And I think just looking at the stats, I think King's output is more sustainable, and also that the fact is on penalties, and the fact that at a very similar price now, I think for me it has to be King.
And also there's I know that Dennis hasn't played for Nigeria for quite a while now. I think he had a bit of a falling out with the coach, but they are struggling up front, and Dennis is in sensational form. I suppose there is always a risk that he gets called up, either ahead of or even during the tournament, I suppose. So yeah, just something to monitor there. I think of the 2, I prefer King as well. I say that kind of nailedness, central position, on penalties, better stats. I think I like
for sure.
King as well. Superb. Okay, well, thank you very much, Abdul, for joining me this week. Make sure you do drop Abdul a follow on Twitter at FPL Salah. As you can all probably tell, both Abdul and I have got a bit of a cold, so apologies for all the sniffling and deep voices and everything else coming from both of us. It's a bit unpleasant, but we've made the effort and we've got the video out. Thank you, Abdul, so much, obviously, for joining me this week. James should be back next week. I think he's moving house this week, so he's got a busy one this week. If you like what you watched, please press the like button. And remember to subscribe to the channel at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Our handles on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are at FFH_HQ, and our website is fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, where you will find everything you need for fantasy football and fantasy Premier League all under one roof, including player comparison tools, the fixture ticker, Opta-stats, top player team reveals, including Abdul's every single week, pre-deadline, points predictions tools, and much, much more to join the tens of thousands of other fantasy managers. Sign up to the hub, use all our amazing resources. Just click the top link in the description below. We'll be back next week with the best transfers in for the coming game weeks. Goodbye for now.